Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast, Final 8 College Football Preview Edition. And now we got a gentleman right over here who hopefully never got Roll Tide against them. Here's Jeffrey.
Stuart, good to see you. It's good to have the first round in the books. There's a few good games, and the quarterfinals are an exciting slate of games as well.
Yeah, I definitely do feel like I'm super excited. I mean, this was, compared to last year, I got to say, a lot better than last year. Because last year was awful, all blowouts, nothing good. Nothing good. This year, we had a couple bad blowouts. But we had a couple good games right here. I'm just saying, I think this was a much more better situation right over here. So, we can probably start out with the first thing. And big news right now. Michigan finally got their coach right now, since Sherrone Moore said bye-bye. Well, he got terminated. But how do you feel about the next new Michigan head coach from Utah?
I think it's a very good hire. He checks all the boxes. He's won at a big-time program before, Utah, where he was there for 21 years, won nearly 70% of his games. He's known for having a lot of discipline. His teams are well coached. He has a lot of connections in the industry. The one knock, if you read anything about it, the one knock everyone keeps mentioning is his age. He's 66 years old, which typically is pretty old for a Division I coach. I looked it up the other day. Only 2 coaches, active Division I coaches, are in their 70s. In fact, Kyle Whittingham right now is the 4th oldest coach at 66. But that notwithstanding, he checks all the boxes, and I think it's a home run hire for Michigan. They really were able to get a good coach despite bad circumstances, in that they're trying to find a coach at the tail end of the coaching cycle in late December.
I don't see how it goes. I mean, I'm not going to hate it. I mean, as a rival, I wish you would have had Brian Kelly just for the memes. It would have been hilarious. I would have lolled so hard if Brian Kelly would have been the head coach.
Oh, they would have. Yeah, they would have never hired Brian Kelly, though. I mean, we would have had to be pretty inept to hire, and pretty tone deaf to hire Brian Kelly after Sherrone Moore.
Would you want his fake Southern accent to come to Michigan?
Yeah, talk about another fraud. I mean, he would just be another fraud. So I think they got it. I think they got it right, but we'll see. Time will tell. But like I said, I think he checks all the boxes. His teams are well coached. Every time I watched Michigan this year, I would say in every game, except maybe one, the Washington game, they played bad. I always thought they underachieved. They didn't play up. They didn't play disciplined, and they didn't play up to their ability. And sometimes they won. I mean, even when they won, I would say that. And even my buddies I would talk to would say the same thing. So I think with him, you're going to get a better, well-coached, more disciplined coach team. So even if they maybe don't win, it's not going to be because you're taking stupid penalties or something like that. So I think it's all good. It's looking up for Michigan.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. It's going to be, the time will tell how will next year happen. If, it will get better, if it's going to be interesting. We're going to kind of see how it goes from the end of this one. But it's going to be interesting. So, but we got to talk about the saddest news. And we got to talk about how Notre Dame decided to say, no Pop-Tart Bowl for you. And I cannot believe, and I have to show you this, like, how did they decide that they were like, no Pop-Tart Bowl, when they have the greatest thing you could ever see right here in this one? We have to show you the greatness of the Pop-Tart Bowl right here.
And now we honor their legacy with these commemorative jackets for strawberry and cinnamon roll. That's okay. Yep. That works too. Quite the tribute. Pour one out for our heroes, Strawberry.
Why did they deny this for the glory and greatness of the Pop-Tart Bowl?
So that's actually pretty funny. But what were they doing? They were not putting those 2 flavors into the Ring of Honor?
Yes, they were supposed to put them in the Ring of Honor, gave them their gold jackets, but then they decided no gold
Strawberry
jackets.
is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably my favorite Pop-Tart.
Cinnamon roll is amazing. I'm gonna say it. I know we got the Fiesta Bowl, we got the Rose Bowl, we got the Orange Bowl. Why can't we have the Pop-Tart Bowl in the playoffs? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah,
Pop-Tart Bowl national championships?
Maybe we'll see it one day. Hey, anything's possible.
I would have, you know what I think would have been more hilarious? You know, the winner of the Pop-Tart Bowl gets to put the losing coach inside the toaster and you toast him?
Well, wait, don't they do that at the Pop-Tart Bowl? They lower the Pop-Tart at the end of the game. They lower him into the toaster, right?
Yeah, they lower him to the toaster. Like, wouldn't that be awesome? Marcus Freeman lowering himself into the toaster, and then he cops out, and then he eats like a giant Pop-Tart.
Yeah, they should do that. They can probably sign it in the contract. They probably have to do it more with the winning coach because generally speaking, the losing team exits the field, which is understandable. You should do something with the winning coach or the MVP should have to do something. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it is kind of funny because I feel like that's like the only bowl game I was like, oh yeah, interested. Every other bowl game is like, do I care?
Yeah, there's a couple good ones coming. There should be a few more good ones coming up here tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, but tomorrow definitely New Year's Eve. So you have Michigan and Texas. And who else? You got a couple other decent bowl games coming up. But yeah, the whole bowl game system has lost some luster with the CFP. Now people don't care about anything other than the CFP games.
Yeah, I feel like that's been like the hard part. And also it's been like weird. There's like 5 and 7 teams making bowl games. It's like 5 and 7 should not make bowl games. I'm sorry.
Yes, well, so many teams like Notre Dame and a few others, they declined. So now you're offering it to teams that have a below 500 record. So I don't know. It's still fun for the players. They get to play. They get like free stuff when they go down there. They get a week's vacation, mostly in a warm climate. So it's good for them. But as a fan, yeah, most of these are snoozers.
Yeah, we'll see snoozes indeed in this one. And now we got a couple eulogies this week. This is a sad. Burp, burp, burp. Burp, burp, burp. Yes, it's a sad week here. We got to talk about the two losers. It's going to be interesting. So we're going to probably talk about the two losers that they have both in common right here. Both are kind of choke artists. And both are G5 teams that basically got eliminated. Honestly, not the surprise. But we got to start out with the first game right over here. In Oklahoma losing to Alabama at one point in the second quarter right here. It was 17-0. But yet the Boomer Sooners gave up 17 points in the second quarter and blew this game. This was an absolute travesty right there for the Oklahoma. So we got to probably talk about the eulogy of Oklahoma, the Sooner Boomers, who's now been 0-6 right now in the BCS era and playoff era. They have not won any games. They just always lose. It's like the opposite of that DJ Khaled song where it's all I do is win, win, and now I won. Now all I do is lose every bowl. I lose every game when it's very important. And then I lose again and again.
Yeah, they I don't want to call it a choke job because
it's a choke job.
It fills in like the third or fourth quarter of the second half. And I don't want to say they choked, but they kind of did.
It's a choke.
They did Alabama.
Points?
Go ahead.
17 points in the second quarter?
Right, but you could say the same thing for Alabama that they gave. At halftime it was tied. Just because you went up 17 and then you gave up 17, you could say both of them choked in a way, I suppose. That Alabama even gave up 17 to begin with. Their fans are probably like, how did we even get down 17-0 and we still won by 10? John Mateer, go to the stats on this one. I think it was really going to be whatever quarterback played better.
I can look at the stats right here, the key players right there.
Yeah, go to team stats. Yeah, John Mateer. Well, no, go to box score.
Let me check out the
Go
box scores. Let me check on the box
score.
scores.
So John Mateer, 26 of 41, 307, 2 TDs, 1. So that's not too bad, but he didn't make enough big plays. He made a pretty big intercept. He had a big interception, and Ty Simpson just played better than him down the stretch. He's more efficient, had no turnovers. So I thought John Mateer was going to be the difference maker, and he'd be the better quarterback. He wasn't, and there you have it.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Oklahoma's going to bounce back after this one, or do you think this is like another loss? It's like this is like the reputation for the Boomer Sooners, and I will say, as a Longhorns fan, this is hilarious that basically both the teams that I wanted sadness and destruction got the sadness and destruction in the postseason.
Yeah, they'll bounce back. They had a really hard schedule, and they made the CFP, so it was a good year overall for Oklahoma. So I think they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll bounce back.
I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting because, like I said, last year they weren't ranked. This year they made it to the top 12. They made rank number 8, but they didn't do as well. Like they kind of like choke jobbed right over there, and especially it's bad because it's at home.
Go down, see how many turnovers that is. How many? I think they lost. Can you see what the turnovers were somewhere?
Let me check. Information, kick returns, punt returns.
Oh, crap. They don't have turnovers.
Oh, interceptions. They had no interceptions.
But they did. ZB and Brown had interceptions. But I think they lost the turnover battle, too. In fact, when I was watching it.
Fumbles. Oh, 2 fumbles.
Yeah. Well.
I think at one point they only got like 7 yards at like the second quarter. It was like really bad.
Look at the rushing. If you go up to the rushing stats.
Let me check out the rushing stats right over here. Look at this. This is why we're professionals and not hack frauds.
Right there. See, so Oklahoma had 33 carries, 55 yards. Doing some quick math there, that's less than 2 yards a carry. It's not very good. Alabama had less than that? Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Dude, that rushing was terrible by both teams. That's incredible.
But, hey, they passed better. I mean, honestly, it's kind of crazy to think, like, they had the better stats, but they still lost.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. But Alabama's going to probably not beat Indiana. They can't rush the ball. That's not good.
No, I don't think they're going to beat Indiana.
But it was a good game. It was an entertaining game. And Alabama, at the end of the day, was the better team and spotted Oklahoma 17 and was still able to win by 10. So there you have it.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I kind of feel like – and also, fun fact, I checked the tape of last week. The only game we got incorrect, we both picked Alabama to lose this one, and we were wrong.
Yeah, I thought the home being at home would mean something, and I thought Mateer would outduel Ty Simpson, and he didn't. So I was wrong.
Yeah, we were wrong on this one, and I feel like it's an interesting. Like I said, it is going to be interesting. Is like, will the Bamas basically, roll Tide, get back? They've been consistent. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting because this is going to be the first time, like since the Saban era, where they still won a playoff game. You know what I mean? In that sense, where last year they didn't make it. I think they were in that bubble and they got bubbled out. But it'll be interesting on this one. So we're going to see how it goes for Bama on this one. And I guess for the Oklahoma Boomer Sooners, unfortunately, the Sooners, your chariot like fell over. Sorry. By the elephant rolled Tide. They just rolled Tide and just rolled Tide back. And now we got one down. And we're going to talk about 3 other ones. And we're going to talk about one really bad one. We're going to talk about the next one, which is basically Miami beating Texas A&M 10-7. This was a god-awful game. I got to say this. This was one of those games where both teams wanted to lose this game. At one point, there was 5 missed field goals in this game.
Yeah, this one was an ugly game from an offensive standpoint. Go to the stats again on this one. Texas A&M has a lot better stats here. I was looking at this one earlier today. They outgained them if you go to the box score. Total yards. So Miami only had 100 yards passing versus Texas A&M 230.
Couldn't do anything. Nothing.
Rushing, Miami had 175 to 89. So Miami or Texas A&M, I don't know who had more. Yeah, they had more yards than them, but they still managed to lose. So
yeah, I know it was windy. Here. Okay, I understand it, but still, there was one where literally someone missed a 22-yard field goal. It was at the goal line. I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" I mean, granted, I don't know if I would kick a 22-yarder. Like, let's be honest, I'm just some dipshit with a podcast mic, but still,
you might be able to make it. Actually,
I don't know. Could you make a 22-yarder?
I think you could. Yeah. You look at. I think you could.
Could you do a 22-yarder field goal kick?
Yeah, I probably. Not every time. I'd say I could make it like 6 out of 10 times, maybe.
Okay, 6 out of 10. Okay, let's see it. If your life depended on it, would you make that kick?
Probably not. No, my life depended on it. No, I'd miss it. Sure.
No.
These people that do it for a living can't make it, then I certainly can't make it.
Yeah, look at that. Look at how many field goals missed. Like I said, 4 missed field goals. He had a 25%. Look at this. Look at the kicking.
Wow, 1 for 4 kicking. And then Texas A&M, they brought in, it looks like a second kicker. They were 1 for 2.
1 for 4. 8 missed field goals.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I don't care if it was windy.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Miami's defense is really good because Texas A&M has a really good offense. And they did put up yards, but they weren't obviously able to translate that into points. So I don't know how much you blame just Texas for not being able to execute or Miami just having a good defense.
Yeah. Also, I just feel like this is going to be the interesting point. We have a terrible case right now, and I know it's going to suck because, like I said, my stepmother went to Texas A&M, loves them Aggies. There's always a 3-letter word that's been a tough one, and I agree with Squid Tart and Red in their podcast. BAS, Battered Aggie Syndrome. There's a terrible curse right there. Terrible disease you do not want as Aggie country right there. Where you batter Aggies, where you have the hopium, you have the optimism, you have, this is our year. And it blows away. Each and every year.
It does. I'd be interested to know when the last time they actually won a conference championship. It's been, you're always talking about Texas A&M going to be good. They're going to make the CFP. They're going to win their conference. They're going to win a big game, and they never do. Although I will say they were number 2 in the country, or they were undefeated heading into that last weekend against Texas. And then they lost their last 2 games of the year. So it wasn't all bad for Aggie fans. They had a lot to cheer about during the regular season. But again, they lost to Texas, and then they lost this game at home.
Yes. Funny enough, their last conference championship was 1998 in the Big 12.
Yeah, that's 27 years ago.
28. It's 27 years.
That's a long time to in between conference.
Literally.
I get it. It's a little harder now in the SEC, but that's only been like the last 4 or 5 years. Maybe it was longer. I can't remember when they left the Big 12, but
in Texas A&M. Let's put it this way. There's literally seniors in Texas A&M. Never seen the Aggies in their whole adult life. Won a conference. There's 25-year-olds.
No, there's 40. So you probably don't remember things until you're 10 years old. Or let's call it 12. Yeah. Would you agree that 12 is like the first age you would actually remember a team winning something?
Yeah, because I think my first memory of my team winning was Ohio State was 2003 with the national championship. So I was 11.
Okay, so let's call it 10 just to be conservative. And it's been 27 years. So that means the first people that would have remembered A&M winning a conference title would be 37 now. That means they would have been 10. They would have been 10 in 98.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 34, and like I said, I would probably not remember the Aggies winning it. I mean, heck, I don't even remember the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl, and I'm a Cowboys fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but winning a Super Bowl, 1 out of 32. You're asking A&M just to be 1 out of the best 10 teams. or I guess 12 in the Big 12.
Well, I mean, it's SEC now, and they can't do shit against SEC teams.
Yeah, now it's going to be a little harder. But yeah, I mean, going back to your point, Aggie fans have to be a little unhappy at how the season ended. Great season, 11 wins, ends with 2 losses. So definitely
it's so funny because I like in Aggie's country, and I visit my family in Texas right over there. The Aggies are not happy about this season. Even though this is like the most successful in like a long time, it's like a bitter pill to swallow, like season. You cannot be happy. They're not happy right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. There's a lot of other teams that had much worse years. So they can't be that unreasonable. You were 11-2.
But they had expectations. They literally, before the Texas game, were undefeated, 11-0.
Yeah, but yeah, Texas has talent. This is the game they should have won. The Texas loss didn't matter. It really didn't. It really didn't, because you still got in and you had a home game, so you just had to take care of business, and they couldn't. So this is the game that you really got to be mad about. Not so much Texas, but I get it. Texas is a rivalry, so.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. I mean, this one, I mean, the Texas one is a rivalry. I think we're kind of in the point now with the CFP right now where rivalries kind of don't really matter, but it's more like pride. It's maybe kind of like, are we heading to like more like the NFL where it's like, I hate the Eagles, but like I said, if we lose to the Eagles, we're still going to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? If we were good this year, actually, we were kind of like dog shit. Mm-hmm. But because our defense was trash, but it gets to my point. But I mean, it's still like a tough pill to swallow, I feel like, if you're an Aggies fan this season. I mean, it's not like James Madison or like Tulane where it's like, okay, we got our ass kicked, but we made it to the playoffs. You know what I mean? This one, I feel like there was expectations. There was hope. They were literally thinking, man, are we going to the SEC and then go to the playoffs?
Right. No, it ended badly. You really needed to win this game, and then the winner of this would have played the winner, or would have played Ohio State. And if you lost to Ohio State in a close game, you could have maybe said it was a successful season, making it to the quarterfinals. But this game definitely stung for them.
Yeah, and let's be honest, there ain't going to be no banners for this Aggie team. Like, congratulations, you made it to the CFP playoffs and lost to Miami.
That's right, especially having Miami in at home. Yeah, I mean, Miami, obviously they're from Miami, but it wasn't cold in Texas. But there's probably almost no Miami fans there, I would imagine. They don't travel well.
It's like yes. We were 9-3, Michigan. We're putting that banner right there. Forget the national championship. We're putting that next banner right there. But I guess, do you have any final thoughts on the Aggies losing?
I think they're well funded with nil, so I think they'll be back. I think they got to build upon this. Their fans got to stick with them for at least next year. Elko has proven to be a pretty decent coach, so got to build on this for next year if you're A&M.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it is funny. We actually predicted this upset, actually. This was our only upset we predicted. We both picked Miami to win it. Stu Stradamus and Jeff Stradamus were correct on that one.
Yeah, I normally pick the home team, but hey, I'll take it. We'll take it.
We'll take it right here. We'll see how it goes. I mean, for Miami, I mean, good for you. You won it. Aggies, unfortunately, please go to your doctor and treat yourself for the Battered Aggie Syndrome right there. Please. Nobody wants to have that disease. Don't spread that to your children.
What's the cure for it? What does the doctor prescribe?
Doctor prescribe, please take. If you have a bad case of Battered Aggie Syndrome, side effects may include hopelessness, hoping that your team does a team choking right over here. Also, pill might be choking right over here, just like the Aggies offense and kicking team. I had to do it. I had to try. But anyway, now we're done with the teams that choked. Now we got to talk about the teams that basically was not good games. Let's be honest. We knew both teams were going to be – it was going to be an ass whooping. I don't think anybody thought that Tulane was going to do well against Ole Miss. Not a great game. But I think this is going to be an interesting, and I think we should go to the segment we like to call Sports Media is Upset with G5 Schools. So I feel like the commentary on ESPN, Fox Sports 1, a lot of this one was like, how dare they let a Tulane and a James Madison in the playoffs? No, G5 is going to do well. This is stupid. Never let G5 in. G5 sucks. G5 sucks. I mean, I even heard Clay Travis had like a terrible hot take where he was like, this is like a DEI hire at one point.
Yeah, Joe Klatt even had some comments on this too. He knocked it pretty good as well. But my overall opinion is it's like the NCAA basketball tournament. You have to give all these teams something to play for. If they don't have a playing for a spot, you might as well just make two divisions. Might as well just make the Division 1 and then like Division 1A or something. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, you're really not trying to get the 12 best teams. I mean, that's not the goal. It's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to get like the 10 best teams or the 11 best teams, and then you're giving one spot to the best G5 team. So I don't have a problem with it. No one's saying that you're trying to get the best teams and have the most competitive games. That's not the goal. If that was the goal, then yeah, you wouldn't put them in. So I think you're just trying to give them something to play for, so they are still feel like they're part of it. And they're part of the Division 1 playoffs. That all these teams have something to play for. And heck, one of these years there will be a team that's good enough from the G4 to make it. So yeah, they're probably going to pull off an upset at some point. And it wasn't this year, wasn't last year, but you see it in the NCAA all the time. Everyone loves a Cinderella and an underdog. So whatever. I mean, all the big guys, the big teams, Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12, they have all the advantages. So let the small guy have one spot in it. So
yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like, it's just like, see how it goes. We have a small sample size right now. We only have like 2 seasons right now of the college football. And I'm trying to think in the history right over here. You had BYU that was independent that won in the 80s. That was not a Power 5. They were independent, and then they won a national championship. That's the only non-Power 5, like Power 4 conference that ever won a national championship back in the day. You had Cincinnati make it to the CFP, college football playoffs Final Four. Granted, they got the butts whipped, I believe, was by Alabama. It was not a close game. It was not a good game. But you know what? Like, that's fine right there. And then you had a Boise State who had, like, nobody complained about Boise State last year being in the playoffs. They thought Boise should make it in. Boise looks good. Granted, they got their butts whipped by Penn State, but I'm fine with, nobody complained about that, if that kind of made sense. Nobody thought, like, oh, Boise should not make it in G5, like, never let the G5 in. I feel like this year was such a complaining and bitching and moaning. Yes, that always happens. But we got to see how it goes. I think, honestly, we got to have the sample size right over here. Look at March Madness. You think about it. When they had the 64-team tournament right over here, it took until, like, the number 16 seed, 2018. It took almost 34 years until a 16 seed beat number 1.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point here. Like, we like underdog stories. So
yeah, I mean, nobody's complaining about, like, we should just get rid of the 16. 16 should never be in. Screw this. You know what I mean?
Right. So yeah, it's like I said, don't have an issue with it.
Honestly, and this is more the fault of what happened with the ACC. Like, Duke won against Virginia. If Virginia won this game, Tulane would be the 12th seed, and Virginia would be in.
Right. So yeah, don't blame. Yeah.
Don't hate the player, hate the results. You know what I mean? That's what I feel. Now, do you think they should do, okay, for next year, and I should always talk about this, because like I said, last year they changed it where basically it was the people that were the conference championships, all 4 of them got a bye. This year was the top 4. do you feel like that we need to change what is the results right now? Or do you want to keep it right here where it should be the top 5 ranked teams, they make it into the tournament?
I like it this year. I think the top 4. The top 4 seed should get the buys.
Okay.
I think that's yeah. I think that's the better way to do it. And I think this year it's worked out a bit where we saw some more competitive, at least in those first 2 games. There's a little more competitive.
This is actually a good question. Should we have like the top 4 and the top 1 G5 school? Compromise right there. Like 1 G5 like the best G5 automatically gets in. If there's maybe like 2 good G5 schools, then you can maybe let 2 in.
Yeah, no, I like the way it is. Right now, I think the rule is the top G5, the highest rated G5 school gets in, right?
So it's basically the top 5 best conferences.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So you would have, if in a normal world, if Virginia does not suck ass and choke against Duke, you would have the Power 4 conferences in there, and then you maybe have like 1 G5 school.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the way you should do it. You should have the automatic bids for the major 4 conferences and then an automatic bid for the remaining conferences or the G5. Yeah, G5. So
that's how I feel.
That'll fix the loophole here where you only have 1 team. You wouldn't have Tulane and James Madison.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand this in March Madness. Like, March Madness, nobody complains about never let the G5 in March Madness. Ooh, never let them in.
Yeah.
I know it's different, but still.
Yeah, it's a little different, but still. The rules are the rules, and I think they could tweak it to what we just talked about. So,
who knows? Like, I'm thinking, like, for instance, like in the World Cup era. I'm just trying to think. I'm not really much of a soccer fan, but I always think about this. They only let Africa nations, one African nation at the time. It was like from like the start to like the 1990s. 1990, Cameroon makes it to the final 8. And it was like, oh my God, maybe these African nations, soccer teams or footy teams are actually good. So we actually let 3-4 more African nation teams in the World Cup. I feel like we could probably do that if we'll see how the G5 does. Let 1 in. If you have like an upset, if there's like maybe 1 Cinderella story team that makes it to like the Final 4 or the Final 8 or wins a playoff game, you kind of see how it goes in that sense. And I feel like we're in a different era now because, we have the NIL era right now. There's no teams' loyalties are very much changing and moving right over here. And I feel like the G5 could have a little bit. This is probably the best era for G5 schools right now in all of college football in probably my lifetime.
Yeah, there's some competitive teams. I mean, Tulane, Boise State, James Madison. Yeah, I mean, there's some teams that are good teams. I was just thinking, actually, here's another rule they should make. They should make it if you're undefeated. If you go undefeated in the regular season, you automatically get into the CFP.
I would not hate to do it because, like I said, there was a complaint about James Madison. Right. I think in 2023 they were undefeated, but they never let him in. They were not even in the top 15. They were ranked number 15.
No one can ever say that they got screwed because all you have to say is, well, you lost the game. Like if you go undefeated, you should definitely be able to continue to play until you lose a game. Continue to play for a national title until you lose a game. That way in the future, let's just say they want to try to keep one of these teams out to say, hey, you got a soft schedule, blah, blah, blah. If they're undefeated, they should automatically get in. So that should allow for anyways.
I honestly probably don't hate that one, but maybe they would probably argue, like, wouldn't they be in, honestly? Like, would they be automatically in, like I said, in that sense?
Well, yeah, Indiana. I mean, they would, if you're in if you're in one of the big 4 conferences, if you're undefeated, you're automatically going to be in anyway.
Yeah.
It's really made for more of the G4, the smaller conferences. And they all got to play each other anyway. So your odds of getting one team are going to be pretty rare because they all just beat up each other during the regular season.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like And I kind of do agree. I feel like the issues where I hear was because and I also will say this: we should not let the G4, like the Power Four right over here, the super teams, they should not get an automatic. You go to the playoffs because I don't want an 8-5 Duke in my playoffs. No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one to think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to think about that.
Yeah, like, are you going to tell me a Duke would have done better than Tulane?
But how
against
wild is that?
or a James Madison against Oregon? No.
Yeah, maybe just get rid of automatic bids. Who would have thought that the winner of the ACC would have been a 4-loss team? That's crazy. And the person they lost to actually was a 5-loss team. That's crazy.
Yes.
I say you almost get rid of automatic bids and you just, I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, there's also arguments that you should just have the top 12 and that's it.
Right. You could do that
But, maybe they could argue like we would have the same problem as sort of like the BCS era or the college football playoffs era where it's just like, nope, not letting G5s in, tough schedule, weak sauce, weak schedule.
I still say you let the top Power 4 automatic, top ranked G5 automatic, anybody who's undefeated automatic, and then so then you would have 5. So you'd have 5 automatics for sure, maybe more if there's undefeated, and then the remaining 7 would be at-large teams.
Maybe a compromise I think we should do is just have like a top 4 automatic. Top 4 automatic, and let's just say 1 G5 in. But I think this should have a criteria. Hear me out. It should be 1 G5 in if you're in the top 25. If you're ranked in the CFP, top 25, you're automatically.
Yeah, that is true. Just so you're not putting a crap team in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to put in like a G5. I mean, granted, like so far we've been 2 for 2. In the college football playoffs, we have let G5 teams in. So maybe that might be that one. But I always feel like there's always that one random G5 team that always makes it in. You know what I mean? Hell, there's even sometimes a random MAC school that makes it in. I mean, for goodness sakes, Toledo, I think one time in my lifetime, they were like in the top 15.
Yeah, I mean, these teams eventually are going to go 11-1, 12-0. They're just going to catch lightning in a bottle. And I don't know. You got to give them a shot to beat one of the bigger boys, to beat, one of the major players.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I always say I just got to see how it goes. Like, I just feel like I think I kind of agree with you with this one. Let's maybe have like the top 4 best ones and then 1 G5 if they can make it to top 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's fair. And also don't do this like shady thing where it's like, NCAA is like, like the problem of sort of the college football era and the BCS where it's like, nope. It's like the one year when basically Hawaii could not get in because they were G5 and they were like, we'll put a 2-loss LSU for the national championship because screw you, Hawaii.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What's so funny? We never really talked about this Tulane Ole Miss game.
Oh, no. Well, there's not much to talk about. It turned out exactly how we both picked Ole Miss. It turned out exactly how we thought. We thought they were overmatched. They had a better offense. They had more options. Trinidad Chambliss is a good QB. Look at his stats, and they were just they're the better team. Yeah, no one thought that Ole Miss really was in any danger of losing. So
yeah, I don't think anyone thought that Ole Miss was going to lose. I mean, it's very interesting with the post-Lane Kiffin era that they did well. They whooped ass. They demolished Tulane. Granted, it's a G5, but they had a little bit of they did have a little bit of a sandbag right over here, and they still overcome it decisively. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They really were never in any danger of losing, which is impressive given the coaching turnover and all that. But yeah, no, they played well. I didn't really watch much of it, but I heard Trinidad Chambliss looked really, really good.
He did pretty well. I mean, I watched basically a little bit of this game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a blowout, so I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll just watch the Eagles versus the Commanders game also, but I was like, that one was frustrating because like the Eagles should have lost that game, but I digress. We're talking about college football. But yeah, I mean, for Tulane, unfortunately for Jake Reddix, I'm trying to think. The Jewish quarterback from BYU who went BYU bye-bye, and now going right over here. I mean, hey, you know what? I'll give credit to Tulane. They made it this far. They made it to, this is probably their best shot, probably in their football program. Good for you. I can't get mad at that. You know what I mean?
No, you gotta be happy with. Obviously, you gotta be ecstatic with the season.
Yeah, this was like a win-win for them. I can't get mad at Tulane. They did super. It's like SMU last year when it was like, you know what? Good for you. You got your butts whooped, but you did well. You know what I mean?
Right.
You weren't expected to get this far. So,
right.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, granted, will Tulane be back next year? No, but we'll see. I'm just saying, G5s don't really make it that far in that one. But we'll see how that game goes. And now we got the final one. Another blowout. Another defeat. James Madison got their butts whooped by Oregon. We did have it correct. Though the funny part is, Jeffrey, you did have it wrong. You said it was going to be higher than the actual score count of the spread. You were wrong, but that's because James Madison got some touchdowns in garbage time.
Yeah, it looks like James Madison. Yeah, fourth quarter they outscored them by 11. But yeah, this game was a blowout. Kind of went the way almost everyone expected, that Oregon would control it, which I think they did. What was the score? 34. Oh my God, it was 34-6 at halftime. So yeah, this game was
it was not a great game. I mean, let's be honest, James Madison, good for you, but it was not a great game. It was actually funny. I was watching this game and I was watching the Bears-Packers game, which was actually a lot more enjoyable than watching this one. I had them both on at the same time. I was like, I could probably care less about this one. Okay, I'm going to put on the Packers Bears game. Great game right there, I will say. That was so much of a fun game, Jeffrey.
Yeah, no, I caught a little bit, but not much of it. But I heard it was a great game. Yeah.
Oh my God, when Caleb Williams got that final one, it's like that. And I still have to say to my friend Christopher, you still need to apologize for saying Caleb Williams was a bust last year.
Yeah, no, he looks really, really good.
Yeah, remember when people made fun of him for black nail polish? Nail polish? Remember when
he's going to be a problem
said
for a decade.
That Jaden Daniels was a better quarterback than Caleb Williams?
Yeah, no, Caleb's definitely the best quarterback in that draft, no doubt about it. I think he came out the draft earlier.
Anyway, but for James Madison, Oregon, they showed up. They won this game. I'll give a little bit of credit for James Madison. Like, I know that they scored a couple on garbage time. They still fought. I'll give them credit. I like when people are still cry. I like it when teams that, we're getting our ass kicked, but we're still going to, fight. You know what I mean? We're never going to give up right there in that sense.
Yeah, no, good for them. Like I said, I didn't watch it much, but yeah, by the score of it, it looked like they kept fighting. Of course, in the fourth, they actually outscored them in the fourth. So good for them. They didn't just roll over and completely embarrass themselves in the game. They felt bad.
Yeah. It's interesting because, like I said, they were basically the 25th seed. They were the lowest seed. Probably people said Notre Dame would have been a better game. Would have been a better game than Oregon. Well, who cares? Notre Dame, you still suck.
Indeed.
I'm not happy with Notre Dame. I'm still bitching. Why did you get rid of the Pop-Tart Bowl? How dare you? You're all a bunch of bitches. You rage quit. You Xbox rage quit. I did that when I was 12.
Yeah, no, I would do that too. We'd play and I would just, I lost, just take the controller, slam it on the bed. And
no, I just turn it off, turn the game off.
Yeah. You ever do that when you're about, this is a shit. I don't think I've ever done it on purpose, only as a joke, but if you're about to lose, you just go and turn the game off. So have you ever done that?
You're telling me James Madison should turn the game off?
You're literally about to lose, and you're just like, F this, and you just turn the game off. You just unplug it, or you just reset it.
Yeah, I did that as a kid. I will admit that. But I'm a man now. I mean, I play some kickball, intermediate kickball, and I'm a grown man. I will get my butts whooped as a man. I will get my ass kicked as a man.
Yeah, you just got to take it now, right?
You got to take it like a man. You can't be a bitch and just be like, nope. Okay, I'm going to quit. Rage quit. Like, no. Yeah. You take the L like a fucking man, and you shake the person's hand. You don't be a bitch after you lose. That's always my 2 rules. I might talk shit, but you know what? I'll at least shake the other teams. Hey, you good for you. You kicked my ass. That's fine. We'll have a beer afterwards. I'm not going to be like upset about that. But for James Madison, I mean, this is their best season so far. It's going to be interesting how the next coach is going to do for UCLA. Will they bounce back and do something? It's going to be interesting when we'll talk about it for next year, Jeffrey. On next year's podcast, when we get to July, we'll talk about how UCLA is going to be with their program right there. It's going to be interesting. I wonder how many players are going to from James. Actually, interestingly enough, I wonder how many players are going to transfer in the transfer portal from James Madison to UCLA.
Probably a lot.
Because the coach.
Well, and the location, and you get a degree from UCLA versus James Madison, so it's a win-win-win. Better location, better program, better university. Everything is a win-win.
Well, how dare you be mean to James Madison? Our 4th president's right there, James Madison.
Yeah, well, it's not really an offense to him. It's more that UCLA is on the near the Pacific Coast in Los Angeles. So
yeah, I mean, I will say UCLA is probably the better university.
Well, for sure. Oh God, yeah.
I'm just saying. It's the nicer part, I'm sorry, but if you go to like USC, like they tell you don't go off of campus because you're like in South Central LA.
Yeah.
Versus
right.
UCLA is like right in
the it is.
Yeah. Where I think UCLA is like right in like, in like Brentwood.
Right. Like no, it is. That's where I think it is. It's in the real nice part of.
Yeah, it's in like the nice part of California. So it's like every like, rich boozy like A-list stars bringing their child to UCLA. Let's be honest.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I would imagine, I bet you they'll be clamoring. They'll probably be calling the coach up asking if they can transfer. I'd imagine the whole team would transfer if they could.
And you see, like Kiffin, this is the right way when you're leaving your program.
Yeah, we talked about that one. He's
still a hoe.
Indeed he is.
Would you still, if you went to an LSU, would you still scream out he's a hoe?
No, I wouldn't do that.
I mean, would you not? You don't want to have like the situation like what happened in the Steelers Lions game.
Right. Yeah, or maybe you get punched in the face.
You got punched in the face. Oh my God, oh my goodness. You should have watched last week's podcast when we talked about it. I literally had both screenshots, and we had Zapruder film. We had like the film of like someone had like the video camera, cell phone video of that.
Yeah, that's wild. This guy's an idiot, Metcalf. But
yeah, 2 games. Can you believe it? Lost $44 million with 1 punch. He said, "Falco punch."
It's funny he kept playing in the game though.
That was still funny.
He's like, "Well, I'm not going to lose this game. They're going to suspend me, so I might as well keep playing."
Yeah.
So much longer.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We're going to probably tomorrow, Jeffrey. I know you won't be in the pod, but we're going to probably eulogize your Lions. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're done.
I mean, that's what happens when you suck ass against a fucking shitty fucking Vikings team with Max Browser as a 3rd stringer.
Yeah, Dan Gamble.
He did not gamble that game well.
No, he didn't. And all his gamblings have not been paying off. That's what happens when you don't have as good of players anymore. You actually got to play like smart football and punt sometimes and not go for it on every 4th down.
Yeah, it's going to be fun on this one. But anyway, Oregon, you took care of business. You won this game. Who cares if you didn't beat the spread? I don't really care. James Madison, I think the eulogy right there, you know what? Good for you. You made it far. You kind of got lucky because, like I said, Virginia probably should have made it in, but they fucking can't beat a shitty Duke that you beat 17 points against in the regular season. God damn it. People don't forget about that. They literally beat them at 17 points 3 weeks ago.
Oh man.
Just saying. I am not bitter about that. But anyway. Yeah, James Madison, good for you. You made it to the tournament. You probably will not make it ever. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, maybe they might be the one weird G5 team that's always been. They've really been consistent. You know what I mean?
I doubt it, but we'll see.
We'll see right there. We'll see how it goes indeed in this one. And look at that. We down to 2. We talked about all the teams that basically got eliminated. Now, we got to talk about next week's game, the Gamecast right over here. We got to talk about Arlington in the Cotton Bowl, the bowls of all bowls, the Ohio State University versus the Miami Hurricanes right now. Right now, they got a 70-point spread, 9.5 points right over here. We're going to start right over here. We're going to talk about the Hurricanes, where, you know what? They did beat A&M. Ugly ass game. Do you think they can beat them Buckeyes?
I wish they could, but I don't think they can. No, they just don't have. No, they could barely get past Texas A&M. They only scored 10 points and still won. I don't think their offense is going to be enough to keep them in the game. They're not going to be able to score enough points. I think their defense is pretty good, but they're just not going to be able to. Their offense won't score enough points. And Ohio State, unfortunately, as much as I hate to admit it, they don't really have too many weaknesses. So they'll.
Maybe like the offense like a tiny bit, but it's not.
If it's anything, it's their offensive line.
Yeah.
That's what most
people say. But it's like an A- versus like an A. You know what I mean? It's not like okay. It's not like oh my god, the defense is like a C, D. You know what I mean? D like level bad. It's like defense amazing.
Right. So they're not. Amazing. I mean, my prediction is Ohio State by 10. I'd say something like 28 to. I don't know. Call it like 28 to 14, even though that's 14. So maybe 21-31 or something like that. Probably by 10 or 13.
I think it might be a very interesting game, but I think it's probably going to be by 14. I think the Ohio State's going to win this one. I think they're looking really good. It is going to be interesting because, like I said, last season, all the teams that had the bye did not win. I think this season's going to be different. I know they got a month because, like, the last time Ohio State played was almost a month ago.
Yeah, and the teams that got the bye weren't the top 4 teams. That's the biggest difference.
I think that was a big difference because, like I said, it was all the conference. So you had I'm trying to think
Arizona State had a bye.
You had a Georgia, but they had their quarterback injured right there, so that was not good. You had I'm trying to think. Yeah, you had Boise State, which probably should not have gotten a bye. They should probably gotten like a 5th or 6th seed, but they got their butts whooped. Ohio State basically whooped on
Tennessee.
No, not Tennessee. No, Oregon. They beat Oregon badly.
Right.
And then the only interesting one was Arizona State versus Texas, and they went to overtime. It was like Texas almost blew that game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
On that. Yeah. That was one of those games I was like, my God, if we lose to freaking Arizona State, I'm going to be pissed. But I do feel like the Buckeyes are going to do well. I think this year's going to be different. I think this one we will have teams that have a bye week win their conference right there. I think Ohio State wins by like 14. I think there is no weakness, I think, in this Buckeyes roster right there besides maybe the offensive line. And Miami has a lot more weaknesses. I don't think this offense – I think they're going to get sacked a lot by the Buckeye defense.
Yeah, Carson Beck's not playing as good as people were hoping. So, and we already talked about it. They only scored 10 points against Texas A&M. So, and this is a lot better defense, the Buckeyes, than the A&M's defense. So, yeah, they're going to struggle to put up points. I mean, the Buckeyes, I think, are only giving up 8.2 points per game. I see. So, you know what? Actually, I'm going to revise my prediction. Given that, they're not going to score 21 on the Buckeyes. They're probably going to score like 10 or 13.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like 10. They might get a touchdown in the field goal. Like I said, 58 points in total this season, the Buckeyes have given up.
Yeah, Miami's not. They're probably not gonna break 14 points.
No,
It's on
like,
offense. They're gonna have to hope they get maybe a special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown, something like that. That's their only path to victory. Some weird stuff where, they're able to score points on special teams and defense.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I definitely do think the Buckeyes are probably gonna dominate. Gun to your head. Will this be a good game or a bad game?
I think it'll be a bad game. I don't think it'll be that exciting. I think the Buckeyes will just kind of take control and go up like 10-zip, and then at that point it's kind of over because
Yes.
Miami's offense isn't going to be able to threaten them. So maybe it's 10-3, then it's 17-3 at half, and then it's 17-3 going into the fourth, and then 17-6, and then it's 24-6, and then maybe they add a late touchdown for 24-13. So no, I don't ever think it's going to be like a good game. I
And
never think
also,
you're going to feel like Ohio State is in danger of losing.
and number two, I know we're gonna watch this game together. How insufferable will I be on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be pretty heavily. I have to hopefully be in my several beers deep at that point.
You'll be knocked out. You'll be like, and then I'll be like, "Hey, Jeffrey, did you see that? Did you see that guy? That was the guy. Did you see that defense? That was the defense that sacked the shit out of Bryce Underwood. That defense, in your face, Buckeye Nation!" Oh!
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be watching this. You may have to be watching on your phone. I don't know. It'll be at 7:30. Yeah, we'll be.
Yeah, we'll be together watching this game.
New Year's Eve mode. I mean,
We'll be in New Year's Eve mode, but we'll be watching this game. This will be the only New Year's Eve game that we'll be watching together.
Right. So I hope, yeah. Only reason I'll be watching it if maybe Miami has a chance at the end to win it, then I'll be.
Oh my God! If Miami gets their butts whooped, which is going to be awesome, like you're going to enjoy the insufferability, and then Ohio State wins the national championship again.
I hope not. I think no. We can get there. When we get there, we get there.
Could you imagine the 2020s Buckeye dominance?
I hope not. I hope a Big Ten team wins it, but not Ohio.
Yeah. Wait. I'm going to edit that part. You hope a Big Ten team wins it, and I'm going to say, yeah, and Ohio State should be one.
I hope not. I really hope not.
I hope not, indeed, in this one. And now we got the first one done. And now we got to talk about the other one, which is going to be interesting, where we got the noon game, where we got the Oregon Ducks versus Texas Tech. Can the power, and I like to call it the TTs of the Red Raiders, beat them Duckies? It looks like it's interesting. This one's an interesting spread right there. 48 and 2.5 right now for the Red Raiders right now.
Yeah, I think man, it's a close one. I think Oregon squeaks it out. I think they have a better offensive line and better defensive line. And games like this are typically won by the team that has the better trench play. And I think Oregon does. And I think they're hungrier because they're coming off of an embarrassing loss in the Rose Bowl last year. So their whole year is really geared towards this game, really, is to really avenge their loss last year in the Rose Bowl here in the Orange Bowl. So I think they find a way to get it done. Dante Moore, Detroit product, has a good game and is able to make a play late and win by 3.
Yeah, I mean, you have Brian Milton right over here. But I think it's going to be interesting, like I said, because, like, Oregon, they got a little bit of their hump right over there. You know what I mean? They didn't have the bye last time, so they do have a little bit of playoff ready. But it's going to be interesting. I honestly think this one's going to be a close one. This probably might be my favorite of all the 8 teams.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
This one I think is going to be a good one. I definitely think Oregon probably is going to win this game. I think it's going to be close to the end. I think it's going to be a neck-and-neck bottleneck game. And I think maybe Oregon wins by a field goal, wins by 2.
Yeah, I said they win by 3, and probably a late field goal, they win by 3. So we're kind of thinking along the same lines there. I think it'll be high scoring, or relatively high scoring. Give me 31-28 Oregon.
I think probably the same way. But I also think, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Texas Tech wins this game also. Like, I would not be surprised if I'm wrong in this one. I feel like, compared to like the Ohio State Miami one, where I'm like, yeah, Ohio State got this one. I would be dumbfounded if Miami somehow won that one. Also, I realized I totally forgot about it. First time they play each other in a conference since that national championship in 2002 with Maurice Carrette when they went to overtime.
Right. So Miami's looking for revenge. Hopefully they can get it.
Yeah, it's been 23 years since the last time, and I remember that game.
22 years. Maurice Carrette is on the sideline, and when they win, when Miami wins, he thanks them all for avenging the loss to the
Boo. They don't deserve nothing. Hurricanes deserve nothing but sadness. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. I don't think, like I said, Oregon, but also I will say this is the one thing that Oregon has that's been their negative. No national championships. And they're kind of like that choke job. They're kind of like Texas A&M.
Yeah, I think they're going to avenge. Yeah, I think they win and they put some of those doubters, silence some of those doubters at least temporarily until their next game.
Yeah, because I feel like last year they took those doubters temporarily, and then those doubters like came back and like knew it frauds. They were like frauds.
Right. So it'll be a good game though. This one would be when is this game? Jan 1st.
This one's at a noon game, so we got a noon game January 1st. So
wow. Okay.
Would you be interested in watching that game, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I mean probably. Let's see how we all feel when we wake up January 1st. But
yeah, I will definitely get some water right there. And I'm gonna be like, when you're waking up, I'm like, Jeffrey, wake up. We gotta watch the Oregon versus Red Raiders game. Let's go.
Yeah, this is definitely a game worth watching. I think that'll be a fun thing to do on January 1st.
The first noon game on January 1st, 2026. First podcast, I will say, for 2026, where we're going to talk about this week. So that'll be fun on that one. And now we got 2 down. We got 2 more to go. We got to talk about the 4:00 game. We got Alabama versus the Hoosiers. Hoosiers have a 71.4% and a 7-game spread right over here. Do you agree that them Hoosiers are finally going to get their first win in an important playoff game / conference / BCS / forevers, I feel like, in program history?
Yeah, I think they will. I think Alabama's a little overrated. They went down 17-zip, impressive comeback, but overall Indiana is the better all-around team. They have the better quarterback. Their defense is one of the top in the country. They're well coached. There's a reason why they're the 1 seed and they're 13-0, and they have the Heisman Trophy winner quarterback. Lots of confidence. So I think they've been the best team all year. They've proven it. And the Crimson Tide just they can't run the ball. And we saw earlier they only rushed for like 30 yards or something in their win against Oklahoma. So I think Indiana wins the game. What do you think?
I think Indiana gets this. I honestly think it might be like by 10. I think like up by 12 or 10. I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think honestly this might be a dud of a game.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be
maybe Alabama comes back
4 or 7. They win by 1 score. Maybe it's 1, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 7, maybe it's 8. But I don't think they win by more than that. The problem is Ty Simpson. He is a good quarterback, and they can't. Well, not as good as Mendoza, but he can throw it. So they're always gonna. Whenever a team can throw it, you can always come back. So I feel like they may come back in the 4th quarter. They may be down 14, and they close at the 7, and they get the ball back, and maybe they kick a field goal. Now they're down 4, and then something like that. But he's a good thrower of the football. Look at that, 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So, I think it'll be a good game though. I don't think it'll be a snooze fest, to be honest with you. Even that Ohio State and Big Ten championship game with Indiana, Ohio State. Even though it was low scoring, 13-10, it was still a fun game. I think Mendoza is a fun quarterback to watch.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're going to be behind a little bit. I feel like maybe that last week's game, the last time in the Alabama, I think honestly they're going to be behind a little bit, maybe like 14 points or something like that in that first half, and maybe they try to come back and sort of that. But I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to probably lose by like 10 or 12.
Maybe you're right. I think I'm curious to see how many fans are Alabama versus Hoosier fans. I think
I mean,
Alabama will have the
that's
larger
in the
base.
Rose, but it's going to be interesting because it's going to be in the Rose Bowl. Probably the first time the Hoosiers been in a major.
Right. I don't think
Yeah,
they've
that's
been
kind of
to
crazy.
Georgia.
They've never been to a major bowl game. I mean, this is like they're like their Super Bowl, in that sense.
Right.
Like
So but
we're not
I
counting
don't know.
last year because, like I said, they played a home game. I mean, an away game, and they got their butts whooped.
Yeah, they didn't even have to leave their own state to play that.
Yeah, they lost to.
So
Yeah, they
yeah,
lost to
yeah.
Tulane, if I
I
remember
think
correctly. Yeah.
I think Indiana will have lots of fans actually, not that you mentioned that, since they haven't been to the Rose Bowl or a big bowl game in a long time. So I think that'll make somewhat of a difference. You always want your fan support. It's always a nice visual on TV, the Rose Bowl. I'm sure the sun will be setting over the San Gabriel Mountains and picturesque and all that stuff. So
Oh,
it's always nice. It's always quite the tradition to have the Rose Bowl Jan 1st, 4 p.m.
I'm not gonna lie. I would love to visit the Rose Bowl. That'd be kind of fun. I know it's like New Year's and that's tough, but like that would be kind of fun. Go to Pasadena.
Yeah, that would. I've been out there, but only not for a game. I just walked around the Rose Bowl over the summer, a few summers ago. It's
Oh, and
cool.
there's like nobody cares. There's like, ooh, no one cares. But it's like, man, that'd be so cool. Like nice, sunny California. It's like, man, you're gonna be the Rose Bowl. But yeah, I think Indiana's gonna do this. It is interesting. I'm hoping that we're correct and that basically some teams that get the bye week get the win in this one.
Yeah, no, I think, just now that the top four have the buys, I think that'll result in
Yeah, and I know
all of
maybe
them
there's
or definitely a few of them.
and I know that was like the criteria for last year. And if I remember correctly, like people were like, "Well, maybe it's like tough because, like I said, you had like a month break versus like these teams had like 2 week breaks."
So it was December 7th, it was December 4th or 5th was the Big Ten championship. So it's going to be 4 weeks. It's going to be a month. It's going to be
Yeah,
4 weeks since they played, since it's Indiana's played and Ohio State and all the one seeds, I should say.
yeah, like Texas Tech, yeah, all of them basically had like a month versus like everybody else. I
Right.
mean, the all teams that played, they only had like maybe like
2 weeks.
14 days, like
Right.
two
Right.
weeks.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that one. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see how this one will be interesting. Like, will that time off, is that going to hurt these teams? That's probably the one thing that's maybe concerned. Will that time
Right.
off basically hurt any of these teams? Or are we going to be right? And then it's like, okay, that's going to be interesting. Like, okay, maybe that was just a weird anomaly last year. So we'll see how that goes. And then finally, we got the final game right over here. We got Ole Miss versus Georgia. So Georgia has a 60-point advantage to Ole Miss. I believe, didn't they play against each other? And then Ole Miss lost?
They did play against each other, and Ole Miss did lose, I believe.
Or was it by a lot or a little bit, if I'm trying to remember correctly? I think it might have been
Georgia
lower.
only lost to Alabama.
I'll look it up.
Close, but it wasn't like I think it was close, but no, they definitely lost to Georgia though.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like it's like, okay, so it's going to be an interesting one. Let me check on Ole Miss. Just kind of want to make sure. When's the last time Ole Miss? Oh my goodness. Not Old Dominion, but anyway, we'll probably talk about the Red Rebels. So it's going to be interesting right over here. So for this team, Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin right there, they've shown that they can beat. Granted, people would argue G5 weak sauce, weak as hell. But it's going to be interesting because, like I said, they did play against Georgia. But can they come back and do that one right over here? So they did play against each other in October 18th. They did lose by 8 points. It was a high scoring game, 43-35 in week 5. No, actually it was week 7 in October. So it's been like 2 months right over there. Georgia, on the other hand, a lot more dominant. They are the third seed. They are looking dominant and they are looking good.
Yeah, no, Georgia's playing their best football all season, so they are definitely peaking at the right time. So I like Georgia in this because of that. They're just playing better football. But Ole Miss, honestly, they're playing good football too. But I think Georgia just has better line play, and they can run the ball better. And I think that's going to be the difference. But I think it's going to be a close game, a real close game, actually.
Ooh. Do you think it's going to be a high-scoring game like last time? I think it will be a high-scoring game.
I think so. Ole Miss is tough to stop. The problem is Ole Miss is tough to stop, so they're going to put up points. And because of that, Georgia's going to have to also be aggressive to match them. So I don't think you're going to see like a 17-10 game, but I think maybe more like give me like a 34-33. I think it's going to be a barn burner. I think Georgia wins by like 1 point.
And also, it is at the Sugar Bowl in Atlanta. So there's going to be a lot of Bulldogs there.
It's going to be lots of Bulldogs, but also lots of Ole Miss.
But I mean, yeah, I guess Ole Miss, they love the travel. It's like Ohio State, but still, you're gonna have that. Yeah, I think you're gonna have that home field advantage a little bit.
I think you'll have a small home field advantage, probably. It'll be raucous in there. It's in New Orleans. It's 8 p.m. Oh man, they're gonna be crazy on January 1st. Yeah, no, it'll be a good scene. Both teams are good. Like I said, I think Georgia just somehow makes a play at the end to win it. But I think it's gonna be an entertaining game.
I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I think we're going to probably have 3 good entertaining games, but I do think Georgia's probably going to do it. I think it's going to be really close. I'll put a wild prediction.
What's your prediction? Mine was 34. I'm going to say my Georgia wins 34-33.
I think they go to overtime.
Yeah, no, they could.
And I think it probably goes to like second overtime. I would not be shocked if this one's a close one, like I said. But I wouldn't be shocked if Ole Miss somehow pulls the upset right there.
Yeah. I mean, if I would pick one to be the upset, this would be one. What's the spread here? 6.5. Yeah,
6.5 right now for Georgia.
But yeah, so it's an upset for sure. But it'll be an entertaining game for sure.
I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it's going to be entertaining. I probably would pick Georgia if my life depended on it right now.
Yeah.
I think this is a strong Georgia team. But I think if Ole Miss does it and pulls like the upset right there, I wouldn't be shocked either. This one, I feel like it's 50-50 on this one.
Yeah. No, I agree. But we'll see. Yeah, no, that'll be a good game. It's going to be pretty late. I don't know. I mean, I'll be watching it, but probably at home. No doubt at home.
Hey, I'll be watching that. I mean, probably hungover, but I will be watching it right there. And look at this, Jeffrey. That is it. Can you believe it? We got to the final 8 right over there. Can't believe we got to 1 hour and 12 minutes talking about both these teams. We're going to see how both of them is. So, Jeffrey, do you have any final thoughts right over here on talking about this college football playoffs?
No, this is exciting. 7 more games left. This is what the whole season's played for. It comes down to this. I think they got some good matchups. You got the right teams in it. And I'm looking forward to watching. It's a good time of year. The holiday season, the new year, and college football. They all kind of go hand in hand if you're a college football fan. So it's a good time to be a college football fan right now.
It's always like the fun times of the year, but also it's kind of like the sad time because like, oh man, like the playoffs are going to start the NFL. It's going to be the slow period a little bit. So we're just going to see how that goes right over there.
Yeah. There's not going to be much football to watch soon.
No, it's going to be boring. I mean, I'll probably do some like hockey stuff, and then March Madness comes. So if you ever want to come, Jeffrey, I'm doing the March Madness podcast.
Yeah, Michigan's got a good team, that's for sure.
Yes, so we'll see how this goes right over here. So that is it for this week. So tomorrow, I'm going to upload this on Tuesday right over here. So tomorrow also, we're going to upload another one, which is basically talking about the final Week 17 NFL. We're going to do our 2 eulogies for the Lions and the Colts. One team I feel like just disappointed, and one team absolutely choke job. 1 point we gave them an 8. They were 8-2 one time, Jeffrey, and they missed the playoffs. That's embarrassing. And then we'll probably talk about the final regular season right over here because the week after that, we're going to probably talk about the teams that make it to the playoffs. Playoffs? Yes, that's right. We're talking about motherfucking playoffs for the NFL. So as always, I want to catch you later, Mr. Gator. So as always, take care. Bye-bye.